Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So I haven't yet touched on why we stopped doing farmers markets, and because it really is getting into the big swing of the whole big farmers market season, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be wondering, why did I quit? Why did I stop doing all the markets? Am I still baking bread? What am I doing? And stuff. And I figured I would tackle all those questions in a brief video just because it's much easier than people reaching out and me responding back and forth all over again. So the biggest reason that we stopped doing farmers markets is financial reasons. So as you guys know, I'm sure you guys have all felt the crunch of the grocery bill going up, your electric bill going up, all of your bills going up, and your wages aren't necessarily going up at the same rate. That's a huge reason. So with doing the markets and with selling stuff, we were constantly being able to watch the economy shift before anybody like on the news or anything says, hey, things are changing. You're able to watch to see how people are spending their money, how many bags of things people are carrying around the market, what they're buying, what product is moving, what's not moving. People that normally bought like 3 or 4 loaves of bread off of me a week were suddenly only buying 1 or 2. So you were watching this whole paring back, scaling back, watching people be much more tight with their money, telling their children no more, which is really big for this day and age that people would, dare to tell their child no. So we were watching a lot more tantrums than normal, which, it's good. Children don't need to be told yes all the time. That's not a good parenting plan. But beyond that, it got to the point where once we took out all of the costs and things of that nature to do the markets, because they were like, $25 just to set up and stuff, then you have your own vendor's insurance, and then you have your gas, your time, your buying the flour, buying the supplies, baggies, all that stuff. The last market that we did, we only made a profit of, I think it was like $40. And guys, it takes hours to get all the bread dough made, make all the bread, set up for the market, to drive to the market, especially when it's almost an hour each way for us to go to this particular market. So when you break it down that, we made a profit of like $40. Once we broke it down further for, how much Tracy and I would have earned per hour, it equated out to being like $2 or $3 an hour, which is pathetic. And in that time frame, I could have done a lot of work here, gotten a lot of things tackled, got a lot of projects done. And with also in that, when we set out on this homesteading journey to leave town, to have more acreage, to have more land and stuff, we always had this idea in our brains that wouldn't it be nice if we could figure out an enterprise from the homestead, this is like every homesteader's dream, I think, at some point, to basically create a way that you could make enough money off of your homestead that you could be self-sufficient financially, that you could pay all your bills, that you could do all the things, that you could, never leave home and stuff. Like that was a huge dream for us going into it. And all last year, while we were living that dream, while we were going to all these markets, while we were doing all this stuff, and I made thousands upon thousands of loaves of bread throughout the summer, both of us kept saying it would be so much easier to just get a job. Like it's way less stressful because with doing the farmers markets, you are directly tied to the economy. Farmers markets are an expensive place to buy food because it's not governmentally subsidized farmers. It's not, it's the actual real price of what real food should cost. This little oak tree is like trying to give me all sorts of lovin's right now. Stay over there, please. I'm probably going to have to move it because this is actually my spot that I usually sit at once it's deer season, because the deer walk through right over in here. And this tree is definitely going to be problematic. Hopefully I can dig it up pretty easily to move it. But we were directly tied to the economy with doing this whole business thing. And it became extremely stressful because there'd be times where at the markets I would make a profit of like close to $400. And there was other times that, like our last market, it was a profit of $40 and stuff. There was not very much consistency week to week to week. So you never knew how much product to make, how much to bring, what sort of paycheck you were going to do, but you were still putting in the same exact amount of hours. And that gets really stressful, especially when you're trying to renovate a house, you're trying to do all these things that cost a lot of money and take a lot of time and energy from you, and then you're spending all this energy in the kitchen baking bread, sweating to death, and it wasn't working. That's the skinny of it. It was not working just because of how inconsistent it was. You can't pay bills on money that you have no idea if it's going to come in or not, even though you're working like crazy the entire time. Makes things difficult. It also was not very enjoyable for us because we were spending so many hours in the car every week and spending so much in gasoline. Even though our car gets really good gas mileage, it became a really big hassle. We were tired of being in the car. So once fall happened and the market season really dwindled down, Tracy was able to get a job that she really likes. It pays her well and stuff, and it's only a couple miles from home, which makes it really, really, really convenient. But if we were to continue doing the farmers markets now with her having a job, throughout the summertime, she would literally only have one day off a week because of, the one market we were doing was Wednesdays. That's her normal day off. And then the other market was Saturdays. So we would be spending literally every single day of the week working on something, which, as homesteaders, we're already doing that. We're already working every day of the week pretty much on doing, animal chores, doing renovations here, trying to, get things set up for us. That way our lives can become easier at the homestead that we're at right now. And that's, a huge feat in itself, especially since now, like, I have goats to milk, which really would put a huge wrinkle in the whole going to a market Saturday morning thing, because right now I have one goat that I'm milking and I spend about 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening milking her, but soon that's going to be 4 goats that I'm going to be milking morning and evening. So that's, an hour and 20 minutes every day that I'm going to be spent holding a milk machine onto some udders. That's a lot of time. And then you have all the milk to process and all the things, and you guys get what I'm saying. Life gets complicated. And it makes it so that way it's actually quite easy to just let Tracy work. Our whole relationship pretty much has been built on me staying home, doing a lot of things at home, running a homestead, running, the farm, doing all the things, and, just basically keeping all the gears in motion and keeping everything flowing and everything working on the home front. While Tracy goes to work, she focuses on making the money and doing different things like that, more executive function things. I'm a very spacey, very creative person. My head's always like off in the clouds, dreaming up a bunch of things and starting projects and getting distracted and moving on to other things, but eventually turning back around and finishing things. If you guys haven't noticed throughout my videos and throughout my video style, I have a pretty significant case of ADHD, so things can be a little hard for me to get reined in on, and Tracy's very solid, very stable, very good at reining me in. Anyways, back to the whole farmers market thing. Clearly, there's some serious symptoms of some things going on here. But so the other thing with the farmers markets is we were no longer enjoying it. It's not fun to stand for 3 hours straight in the sun, in the heat. No matter what the weather was, no matter how you were feeling, you still had to go, you had to set up, you had to do all this effort, and there was not a guaranteed payback, which is really frustrating. It's really depressing when you keep putting your all into something and you never know if it's going to be like, oh, great job, or if it's going to be like, what do we do now? Do I find another side hustle? Do I offer to paint somebody's house for money? Like, what do I do? And stuff. Like, I got tired of it, and Tracy got tired of it. The consistency of working a regular, like, standard job is really nice. Throughout the summer last year, both of us kept saying, like, it was like probably 3 or 4 times a week that we would say, gee, it was so much easier when you were just going to work, because then we weren't working constantly on the homestead and on the business and trying to promote things, and it was insane. So that is the big, huge reason as to why we stopped doing farmers markets. Now, I don't know if we're forever going to be done doing that. We had always hoped that with doing the farmers markets that we would be able to find people that would be like loyal customers that would, want to order our bread, like pre-order it and do like special sales and stuff, or come to the farm to pick things up, or as meat places and stuff. And for some reason, that just never happened. That never panned out. Like, we gave out business cards. We told everybody that we can do custom orders, that we can meet up, that we can deliver, that we can, do all the things and stuff, that we don't have to sell at a market, that we can just do this person to person type of thing, Nobody got a hold of us. It was kind of bizarre that the same people would come week after week after week after week buying bread from us, but when the off season, there was nothing. Like, literally nothing. Like, crickets chirping and stuff as I'm like, does anybody want to buy some bread? And everybody's like, only on market times. It's really bizarre how people are. But Yeah, so basically, the biggest reasons as to why we stopped doing farmers markets is the economy is falling apart. Whether the mainstream media is telling you that or not, I'm telling you right now, it for sure is. With watching people spend less and less and less, pulling their money back, buying less stuff, they became more window shoppers. And after a while of just window shopping, then people just stopped coming because they couldn't afford to buy expensive food on top of paying higher bills than normal. The other reason is time. Ooh, a spider just crawled down into my boot. That was not fun. I got it out, don't worry. The other reason is time. I do not have the time to do the whole big fancy setup of a farmer's market, to devote that many hours a week to trying to make money. Because to be quite honest, and I'm not trying to sound like in your face about anything, we've made so many sacrifices over the years to get us to where we are now that we can actually live with a little bit of breathing room with just Tracy working, which is, it's huge and stuff. That's what we've, really set down this path of homesteading for, is to make it so that way eventually, startup costs of a homestead, I mean, it's insanity and stuff, but eventually you go far enough into it that, things start paying for themselves. Different animals start feeding other animals, and then basically you're starting to get a big looping system that starts working for you instead of where you're throwing money at it constantly. And we're kind of at that point where things are starting to really work for us and to really help us. So time-wise, not enough time. There's just not, I don't have the energy to do it. I don't have the time to do it. I don't have the desire to do it. I do miss socializing with people because I virtually never leave our property. So the only socialization I really get is actually through filming YouTube videos. That's why I love comments. And occasionally I'll go to the store with Tracy, but I don't like going to the store. That's another reason why we homestead, because I don't like going shopping, neither does she. So I do miss the socialization aspect of it, because it is nice to be able to banter back and forth with people and get to hopefully try to inspire others and stuff. But it's really, I can't just do that, do markets and stuff just because I want to have communication with other people. I can do this right here, talk to you guys, and it's good enough for me. And also, there was some elements that with doing the farmers markets that kind of made us a little nervous, especially because the one market that we were going to end up doing was kind of like in a downtown area and in a rough part of town, we'll just say that. And it kind of makes you a little nervous when you got a big thick wad of cash in your pocket and you're in a rough area and the economy's tough and everybody knows you got a big thick wad of cash. Makes you a little nervous. Just throwing that out there. Maybe if we were two big burly dudes, wouldn't make us that nervous, but I have a very tiny frame. I look like I'm a frail little girl and stuff, even though I can outlift most people that I've ever met. I'm very strong. I look tiny and stuff, which really makes you nervous. Like, you're always like watching your back. You're like, oh man, nervous to go to the bathroom by myself. Like, what's gonna happen? And I don't want to live in that fear anymore. That's the gist of it. There ain't enough money in it, not enough time or energy, not enough desire, and I don't think it's really worth risking my life. Not that anything crazy happened, just saying it could and stuff. It's not like not a super safe place to go. Anyways, if you guys have any further questions about that, or if you are a customer that used to buy products from me from the farmer's market, hit me up, because I'm still making bread. I'm still willing to do all the things that we were doing before, still making the dog treats, the bread, doing different products, different ideas, things of that nature and stuff. I'm not done doing stuff in the kitchen. It's just, I'm done going out in public to try to hustle and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea anymore, but I'm definitely still willing to do like custom orders and pickups and drop-offs and all the things and stuff. So anyways, if you guys are enjoying my content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.